Hey guys, today for sure is a sleepy shave. I would much rather be in bed, but let's take care of this. Same equipment as yesterday, Silvertip from Golden Nib. And this is my little soak cup with my syringe for adding water, my quarter teaspoon when I need it, and my Sharpie for putting dots on blades. So we're going to put this in while I prep my other gear. There we go. As usual at this location, pretty soft water. And I just put some water on my face. Alright, we'll be using Cella, same as the last 2 days. But I'll continue that Marco experiment because I believe tomorrow I'll be able to bring in my Midnight Stag and get going with my real austere August plan. I do plan on just continuing using this brush. And then this razor, Karve Christopher Bradley, 3.5 inch handle. It's bead blasted brass. And this is the open comb head. That's the C grade, the C level. And we're going to put in it my feather blade. And we're looking at 40 uses today. So it's a good time to stop with this blade and get going with my Nasset next. And fortunately, I think it all worked out because under some different conditions, I thought I'd have a break in my vacation in August, and I wasn't actually doing any kind of challenge with austere August. And so I went over by 3 days. And so I got 173 uses on my Nasset. Feather is in. And now I've got 3 days into August since I wasn't able to get home. And so that works out perfectly. I'll still be able to land on 200, 201 at the end of August with the Nasset. Pretty cool. All right. Let us do the Marco. We're just going to do about 100 swirls in here. And last time I did it until I thought I saw a paste, but that never really happened. And I probably did 300 swirls in here. It was nuts. I ended up with way too much lather. It was a big chore. It took a long time. Not something you want to do. And that was not the Marco method. That was my mistake. So, got to judge it fairly. All right, I'm pulling this guy out. Not really shaking him down. Let me make sure that he got just chock full of water here. And this is a big knot. I mean, it opens up nice and big. It's just a 22 millimeter, I think. All right, so there we go. Now the idea is that whatever water you have in here right now is all you need for your shave to build up a good lather. And or at least most of it. And then we're going to do 100 circles in here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Online it was recommended that you do 120 or 100. It all just depends. So I went ahead and just did 120. In a lot of examples there's a bore brush that's used. And so one of the things I may be helping to educate people is what happens if you use a badger, or at least a soft badger. All right. So we do have a little liquid slurry in here, but let's just pour that out. Yeah, man, this uses up the soap pretty quickly. At least it sure did the other day. I'm sure that you can figure out a good kind of happy medium, you know. All right, so doesn't really look like there's much on the brush after 120 swirls. Now a non-clear liquid is dripping out, you know. So well, this is going to be messy, I'm sure, but I just want to give Marco a really good few attempts. I'm going to try it with the Midnight Stag. So this will be interesting. It'll give us a good comparison. All right. So much water in the brush that it is just dripping. I mean, obviously you can see that. Kind of afraid to do it on the bottom of my neck because I'm sure it's just all going to go down my shirt. But the lather is slowly starting to build. Maybe this brush just holds more water than, oh, of course it does. It holds more water than the bores that, you know, he was using. Minimalisto did a really good, apparently, video for the Marco method. And he did use a bore brush. Okay, I feel like most of the water is out. Let's see what we get, yeah. Cella, as a soap, I need to always remember to run it a little drier than I usually do. A little over 24 hours of growth today. Let's just go with that. Looks right. So, I'm not using my shaving bowl today, which is strange. All right, 40 uses on a feather coming up. I don't think I'm getting the protection that I usually have been getting. This is feels a lot more scrapey than past uses. So let's make sure that I work this lather a little bit more. Maybe I didn't quite get it to a good creamy state, you know. Maybe it's just too thin. And so what I may run into is that this brush may just hold too much water. And so I need to maybe do a shake or two if I'm going to do Marco. Yeah, so this is like 3 times as harsh as it has been the last time I used it. Definitely want to stay with the grain on the first pass here, especially on my neck, just to kind of act nice. Hope it doesn't get angry. All right, we'll rinse. Well, according to my face, that first pass was not nearly, it was too wet. I didn't get nearly the protection that I was hoping for. And that's 120 swirls. And we'll see if we have enough lather to do the 3 passes. Looks like it will come close. You know what may have happened? Because my brush had so much water on it, maybe that inhibited its ability to pick up the soap. So there are some variables. It's not a foolproof method, or at least, you know, it might be foolproof if you use a certain type of brush, you know, like, because the guys are saying it's pretty foolproof. And so maybe if you use a boar brush that can pick up that soap, or, you know, something like that. So it looks like there are definitely scenarios where it's not going to work very well. And after my first Marco shave with this soap, I did have some viewers report that they weren't really able to do pure Marco with Cella anyway. This shave is much more comfortable. Since we've removed a lot of the hair, it's just fine. But here's the thing about the Marco method. The original write-up by Marco himself, I believe, mentioned that it was specifically made for soft Italian soaps. And that is definitely something that Cella is. Well, this is a nice, comfy, quick pass. Rinse. Now let's see if we can get another pass out of what's here. I rarely do this to get the third pass, but let's give it a squeeze and see what comes out. Well, that should be enough to work. Maybe better to spread it around with my hands, because the brush is going to kind of soak some of it up. All right, let's just see if that does it. Third pass. Somewhat slick. You can tell it's a little thinner than usual, but fortunately, because you have because I have done two passes already, there's just not as much hair to cut. It is a little too thin, but slick enough to do the job. And a rinse. Pretty good result. I think I see a length and a few tips. My eyesight, man, is getting bad. Getting old. Not too worried about it today though, so I didn't check too much. But so I think what I learned in this shave was that I did not gather up enough soap to do the job this time. Now, why did that happen? Well, maybe the brush was too wet, and so it just didn't let it pick up. And so maybe if I started with a drier brush, because, I mean, you guys saw when I put the brush on my face and just started pressing in, that caused a lot of water to drip out of the brush. And so maybe that's part of the problem. And so maybe reducing, like doing a couple of shakes before loading would work. With this particular brush. See, boars don't hold as much water, like I said. I could simply load for longer, but I kind of feel like 120 swirls was a good opportunity. And since the water really did kind of flush out when I first started lathering up, I think that the best approach is just to lower the amount of water, and I believe it might pick up more soap. And then maybe if it picks up more soap, there's less actual water in the brush to flush out when I start using it, because it's going to start combining with that soap to form that slurry. So I believe that this is it, done with Cella for a month, because I'm going to shift into austere August mode and use my timeless 68 open comb razor, which seems to be really handling the nasset really well. And I'll probably use this same brush, this Badger from Golden Nib Premium Silvertip, and obviously my nasset blade, and my Midnight Stag soap and Midnight Stag aftershave, and we'll hope my family can hold together during the month. I like the scent. I liked it the few times I've used it. Who knows how I'll feel about it after a month, right? But that's what we're doing. All right, we got the post shave on. I used a brush worth of soap. You saw. All right. It was inadequate this time with the Marco, but we'll try less water next time and see if therefore we can pick up more soap, and maybe that fixes everything. All right, well, I'm going to go back and see if I can get a nap in before the rest of my day has to start. You guys take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope there was something here for you. Take care.